All right, day 3. Third time's the charm. We are going to be putting the chemicals together today and throw them down on the ground. Welcome to Breaking Bad. So we had the problems during the week with all the rain, so that's why they put the tarp up so everything was fully dry for this weekend. And it was raining earlier, but it's clear skies, not that you can see it. Let's head into the shed. And we're ready to go. Then we can do one more sweep, one more blow, then we can start mixing up the epoxy. I'm pretty sure it's just mixing 1 and 2 together. So before we mix up the epoxy, because we've got to put that down straight away, I think they say to use it within an hour. We've got the flakes, so I am going to use the flakes, and they recommend that you divide it into 4 so that you can evenly space it out. So they say to divide it up. So I'm going to divide it into 4. We're going to do 4 corners, the back 2 corners. We'll do the first one first, and that way you know how much of this you're going to use in that corner, and then the second one, third one, fourth one. So let's cut this up. I don't know if I'm going to use all of it because this is supposed to do, I think, up to 18 square meters. Obviously the shed's only 9, so we're halving that. So depends how much spaffle we want. I might use, let's just go half, yeah? Give it a go. Man, that looks like a lot. I actually can't see through these glasses. As good as they are, cannot see. They are those cheap prescription ones, $2.50. Here we go. So what I have is the Bunnings bucket. So I brought the bucket so that we could mix part B into part A. So that's what you're going to do. Usually you would just put part B into A and you're done. But because we're going to be doing 2 parts, because I want 2 coats, and obviously this does 18 square meters where the shed is only 9, I'm going to mix half of those into the Bunnings bucket, do the floor, seal up the other tins, and we'll do that later. I don't know if that's proper. It doesn't really sort of clarify that in the instructions, but we'll definitely give it a go. First up, you've got to mix up the paint, or the epoxy, sorry. Part A and part B, this is part B. Get your sacrificial screwdriver. Let's see if you can open it. Jeez. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So that's what it is. It's got the color in there, nice and dark. So here's a closer look. It's the paint color there, and that's the epoxy, I presume. Put them together, and you've got to let them sit for 20 minutes or 15 minutes. Actually, I've got to have a look at that. So once I put them in the bucket and mix it, don't use a power mixer at all on a drill. Don't do that. They say just to use one of them. And mix it for, it says here, so mix times. So we're looking around, it's pretty hot. I think it's around 20 degrees. I'll have to check. 20 degrees, which means mix time is 4 to 5. It's always 4 to 5, look at that. And settle time, induction time. So you let it sit in there for 10 to 15 minutes. Hot life is 60 minutes. And fingers crossed we've got enough, eh? Guess we can always top it up later, eh? Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. That's what the fun is. So now just mix 5 minutes. Doesn't look like much. This was the recommended roller microfiber painting kit. This is just from Bunnings again, 270mm long, and I'll use the handle off the broomstick. So we'll get that ready while that settles. 15 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes. It's actually 25 degrees at the moment, so it's pretty hot. Game time, let's do it. see how far it goes. It's quite deceiving. I thought it would soak up quite quick, but it's very thick. You don't need much on the brush. Like, I've just been using the dregs out of here, and it's very thick, which is fantastic. Let's go. Doesn't quite come out the same on the brush, on the roller. Make sure we get all of this side nice and done before I go down the other side, because I won't be able to get back to it. It's really hard to know how much to use. I think I could have used a lot more. I feel like I have hardly used it, so we might just cruise over a couple of spots quickly. Ah, so that's how we're looking so far, not bad. Looks good for one coat. Definitely use a fair bit on it. Oh, this is gone. You can use a fair bit. You can see I've got heaps left. We'll see what happens at the end. Plenty left. She's done. That really wasn't too bad at all, and did pretty well. There's actually quite a bit in there. You could do a fair bit with that. So I don't know if I go over it again or not. I think I should just leave it. It looks fairly good. Maybe a couple of spots, but second coat will fix that. So remember that, guys, you can put it down really thick, even though it doesn't look like there's much in there. So that's pretty much it for me. It's actually 10 o'clock at night now. So I'll get out of this jumpsuit and we'll tidy up a bit. Won't do too much, and see you tomorrow. Good morning. Brilliant day. I was really hoping it wasn't going to be raining, because it's the last day to put down the epoxy. One more coat. We'll go in and have a look how it looks, eh? Don't even know where to put my coffee. There we go. So I left everything out on the tarps. It rained the first night, but it's all good now. Nothing got affected, luckily. All right. I know it looks blue. It's a bit better. So that's a light first coat. So I guess if you were going to do one coat on bare concrete, you'd want to probably put it on a little bit thicker than I did. As we discussed, it's pretty hard to know how much to actually put down. So yeah, I wouldn't say it looks the best right now. I wouldn't be happy if that was the finished product. With the second coat, fingers crossed, it comes up a lot better. We'll be putting the sprinkles down today. So we're obviously going to use the rest of this. So we're going to throw it straight into the part A bucket, which is how you usually should do it. All right, bon appetit. All right, there we go. We'll let that stand for 15 to 20 minutes. Obviously that time depends on the weather. It tells you on the sheet. All right, so while we wait for that, we'll organize this a little bit better so it's better access. So if we have a closer look, I'm not sure why all these larger bits, whether they were bits that fell off the roller as I was going, you would have seen some of that, but I'm not really sure. They sort of look wet, but they're not. Like that one there looks really wet. So I'm going to try to avoid that, and if you can, I guess, if anything, it could be just the bits and pieces that were still on there that didn't come off. There was quite a lot of, I don't know what it was, paint. Yeah, there were a few bits and pieces all over the place that didn't come off with the acid or the scrubber. Once again, this is just a shed. So I'm not too worried, but just letting you guys know, if you want a really schmick finish, definitely do 2 coats and prep. That looks a lot more than last time, so this should go down pretty well. So obviously we're going to do quarters. We're going to do that part first. We're going to put the sprinkles down. Do you call them sprinkles, freckles, whatever you call these things? Throw these in, and we'll see how much I want to put in. No idea. It's just all trial and error really, guys. Who bloody knows? There's probably a whole pile of painters out there laughing at me. I guess we could probably get this closer so we don't get too much gunk all over the place, eh? So we're going thick this time. I know there's plenty in there. That's almost, I definitely should have measured it. So if you guys are doing this, you could probably measure it if you're going to do 2 parts. But here we go. Flip it around. So that looks a lot better. So literally, I'm not even going to push it in. We're just going to go like that. We're going thick. Like it thick. Well, that looks pretty damn good to me. What do you think? All right, we'll get the sprinkles out, eh? Throw these in. All right. I can see why they say do a meter by meter. Oh, I guess that's going to be a bit extra. I think that's a good amount that we got in here. I like the look of it. I'm definitely glad I'm going with that. I guess you could see there, I went a little bit too close. So if you do it higher up, that looks like it works a little bit better. So I've got a tiny little bit over there. Tiny. Oh, see if I can reach. Get in there. Fill it up. Beautiful. And we're rolling that in. So much left. Next round. It's definitely going to make it a bit difficult. If I just do it lightly. Try to just blend it in with the other one. That looks pretty good. Pretty close. Yeah. Lather it on. right now, I'm super happy with this. I don't know if I've done too much speckle, but it is what it is now. Definitely looks thick enough. You can't see any of the blemishes anymore. So I'm pretty sure it said 3 to 4 hours before you can walk on it. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm really happy. We'll see what it looks like when it's dry. Again for the final look. So everything is now dry and we're actually in isolation right now. This is Thursday. When did we do it last? Sunday. Just did it on Sunday, so everything's definitely dry now. But yeah, I've gotten sick, so I'm isolated. So let's go in, check it out. So let's have a look. There you have it, guys. What do you think? For myself, I'm really happy. And I'm definitely glad that I was able to do 2 coats. So that was the one that I bought and it says 18 square meters. This is obviously 9 square meters, so it's half. And if I only did the 1 coat, which is what you would only get with 18 square meters, you would have ended up with that original video that I showed you. But bear in mind, that is for bare concrete. So a lot of it really soaked in. I didn't do it too thick, but I do really recommend you do 2 coats. So keep that in mind. And when putting the sprinkles down, try to do it as high as you can. Try to get the lines to match up with the squares. So if you can see, you can sort of see the lines. I don't know if you can see it there, but you can see where I've done the squares. It's not really coming up on the video, but I can definitely see it in person. You can sort of see it there. There's the line there. Next up is pretty much just the ceiling. We're going to be putting insulation up there. We're going to put some timber up and look at lighting. I don't know what lighting we're going to use yet. So if you've got any ideas for a YouTube/workshop situation, definitely hit me up. Then we're going to get all the tools and gear in. I've got a heap of ideas, so many ideas. I'm really, really keen, really stoked. But that's it, guys. Until next time, take it easy.